You literally look like a trashy hooker, and I think it looks great.
Also, I'm a trashy hooker.
Shedding.
So I'm trashy hooker. Hi, I'm your phone-a-friend who still doesn't fucking know the answer to that question, bitch. Yvonnedeculo.
And I'm that 50-50 that really didn't help you at all, Jakeshandy.
And welcome to the Victory Lap, the show where we discuss the most recent episode of All-Star Season 2 of RuPaul's Drag Race. Alright everybody, so this week we are going to be discussing the makeover challenge. So Tatiana has just gone home and tensions are a little weird in the workroom. I feel like it's pretty obvious at this point who the girls want to go, and I feel like Relaska Talks is very clearly like still happening and gunning for Alyssa and Katya. So our mini challenge this week was Miss Anastasia coming in and teaching these drag queens mothers how to do their eyebrows, which I think is a real shady thing.
To be perfectly honest, I don't understand what the point was, other than Miss Anastasia Beverly Hills said, I will let you have one sickening supply of product, but you will let me do cameo on show. And Ru was like, well, she's not gonna be a judge.
To me, it was very much like, you know how in Project Runway, how they always send the models to the L'Oreal Paris workroom, and like they try to hawk all of their random products that nobody actually wants? That's kind of what it felt to me, but it's like everybody wants these things, so like why are you trying to pawn it? Like everybody knows this is good shit. You don't need to sell it. We're already buying it.
Yeah, the funniest thing was it wasn't even something useful for like the audience at home, because like they didn't spend enough time like with her describing how to do the eyebrow. It just literally was like, so she has very light eyebrows, so you're gonna want to darken them, and then she has a full eyebrow and it's beautiful, and you're like, okay, this would be really useful for me at home when I'm sitting here with my Anastasia of Beverly Hills brow pomade or pencil or, you know, gel thing, and I'm trying to make sure my brows look like good brows and not like giant blocked on Sharpies. That I could have used, but no.
Why were you looking at me when you said that? So all this being said, our makeovers this time around are sisters, mothers, and in Roxy's case, her grandmother. It was a really emotional reunion with all of the queens.
Goodness gracious.
And it was nice to learn about some of their stories and get to learn about them as deeper human beings.
Yes.
I will say that I thought Katya's mother was hilarious, and I thought it was like, okay,
funny.
You make sense now.
I understand.
You as a human being, suddenly I'm thinking it might not have been just drugs that turned Katya in this way.
Not just drugs. But they played a big part in it.
Also, I love that her name is Patricia and her nickname is Trish. And isn't Katya's little, like, dead squirrel that she always keeps on her, that little dead rodent, isn't that dead rodent's name Trish?
You asking a intriguing question?
I think it is, and I think that's hysterical to me. That's comedy gold. So they kind of focus more on the makeovers this time around. I don't really feel like they really focused on the fashion of it. They wanted the sisters and mothers to look like they were a part of the drag family, which I think is always fun to do. I hate when it's like, make a drag mother or a drag daughter. Why can't it just be like somebody in your drag family?
Make a drag cousin.
You know,
second cousin, twice removed.
Something.
Make a drag family pet.
PETA would be all over that. They would like be literally like protesting RuPaul's Drag Race. It wouldn't even like have been filmed yet, and they would already have been protesting.
I can get into it.
So we'll talk about going from the bottom, from the eliminated all the way up to the winner. Alyssa's sister, I thought looked not very good. I was so curious why Alyssa made her sister look like Horchata, Coco's military guy. I didn't understand that. And the hair was a little too big for
all the proportions were wrong.
They were wrong.
The hair was too big, the dress was too big. Like, it was good for somebody who's tall and boxy like Alyssa to make Alyssa look like Wamana.
Yeah, totally.
But on an actual woman, it just made her look like she... You remember the last season when they did the baby drag challenge and they had all the oversized stuff?
Wasn't good. I didn't like that challenge. I didn't like that runway category.
No, she looked a little bit like Derek Barry's baby drag.
Roxy's grandmother / mom, I didn't think looked very good either. I thought she looked a little bit like Roxy's military guy from season 5. Roxy's very good at doing her own face, but why can't she do somebody else's, especially all these years after Drag Race? Why hasn't she learned how to do that yet?
Why can't she do a woman's face? That's what I want to know.
That's the real question. Why, like, there's ways to turn a woman more draggy and to really emphasize who they are, and I feel like she kind of looked like a man in first time drag.
Her grandma looked like the evil stepsister from Shrek.
Oh, no.
She did.
Alaska and her mom also were not that cohesive, but I pretty much predicted last week that Alaska wasn't gonna do that well.
It was a bad week for Alaska.
It was a bad week for Alaska, and I just didn't like her makeover. I didn't like that she put her mom in flats. I thought the routine where she went under and then came out with the horse mask, I thought that was really funny, and like the comedy behind it, but it wasn't enough to save the voguing. And then the runway, it was just so basic, and it's like Alaska's tried to turn it out every single week and has done like bigger things every single week, and it's just like, why did she choose this week to kind of bomb and do a throwaway outfit, you know?
To literally wrap a piece of fabric around a corset.
Yeah, it was just, I don't know. I wasn't digging it.
Her mom looked like somebody else too.
Not good.
Not like her, for sure, at all.
Katya and her mom, I thought they were the best storytellers, I think, on the runway.
I thought theirs was great.
I really enjoyed the story that they were telling. I thought the makeover was really fun. I didn't think it was such a strong, powerful transformation. But I mean, Katya is like a woman. Like, she's not giving you drag face. She's a part in the act.
She gives you one.
And that's what I thought
she's a body queen, remember?
And I thought her and her mother looked great. I thought they were hysterical.
They were very funny. Mrs. Katya looked great in that Wigs by Vanity wig.
What was her name? Svetlana. Svetlana was amazing.
Svetlana
she looked good.
Gorgeous.
And I love that the dress, the whole backstory behind it, that Katya bought it and it didn't even fit her. And it just happened to be the perfect size for her mom. What are the chances? And then she wasn't even going to bring it with her. She was just like, I'll bring this just in case. I can take it out if I need to.
It was perfect.
And then her mom fucking slayed it. Detox is the winner of this challenge, and rightfully so. The voguing routine was really good. Yeah. P.S. Katya's voguing routine was basically the exact same thing that she did with Violet in their dancing challenge. I thought Detox's voguing routine was good.
Everything was beautiful.
I thought Detox and her sister looked great.
They did.
The outfits
her
were
sister
amazing.
Looked stunning.
Oh my gosh, you can like totally see the resemblance between them too. Like as soon as she walked in the room, it was like, your Detox's relative. Like, you look just fucking like the bitch.
And Detox was smart where she dragged her up, but she accentuated what made her naturally femininely beautiful. Which is similar to what Katya did.
Yeah, and I think that's why they did
why they were the winners.
Because if you're making over women, you know, like, you have to give them that element of drag, but you also have to elevate who they already are. And that's where the problems lay in the first All-Stars when they had to make over the women. That was some of the problems that they had with the last in season 8 challenge.
Yeah, I think the last All-Stars makeover is a good example of it, because it's like there were the ones who didn't do enough drag and just put girl makeup on, and they were like, and then there were the ones who went too far, and it was like, oh,
like Yara and Sophia.
Right.
Yara and Sophia. Like Yara and Alexis.
And then there was the ones who got it right, where they accentuated the womana, but brought out the inner
Chad and Chanel
drag.
The bottoms this week, which I thought were a little fucked up, were Alaska, Alyssa, and Roxy. I think, personally, that Alyssa should have been safe. I don't think that it should have been a bottom 3, and I'm pissed that it just keeps going back and forth. Like, the bottom 2 wins convenient, the bottom 3 wins convenient. It's like, why is there no consistency? And it's like, clearly they were gonna send home Alyssa. They're not gonna send home their friends. Why would they put her there? She was the one who had the best chance to get the crown next to Katya and Alaska. And it's just, I think it would have made so much better TV if it had been Roxy and Alaska. And then it's like, who is Detox gonna pick out of her friends? You know?
No offense to Roxy, because
it's not her fault.
It's not her fault. Look at her. It's not her fault. She's beautiful, but it's not her fault. She's really made a big change. She's really giving me like somebody I could root for, somebody I could believe in, somebody who I want to see do well. Just the problem is she's just not doing well.
Yeah, and she's underperforming so much.
Yeah, and I mean, she's literally been in the bottom like every week.
Since the first week. She was safe that second week and then bottom the rest of it.
Bottomed out early. And it's just unfair.
Oh no, she was in the bottom that second week and then was safe and then bottom again.
She's been in the bottom most weeks.
This is her 5th time in a row.
It's just unfortunate and unfair that she keeps being saved by her friends. And especially because it's like, okay, well, why are we saving Roxy? Because I really would have loved to have seen what Tatiana could have brought to this point. I would have loved to have seen what Alyssa could have brought. I would have loved to have seen what so many other girls could have brought. Hell, at this point, I'm so over Roxy being in the bottom and Alaska winning and Alaska saving Roxy every time. I would have liked to have seen what
Coco?
could
I
have
was
brought.
gonna say if you were gonna say Coco, and I was not even gonna believe it if the words came out of your mouth. I don't believe those were actual sentences.
Honestly, at this point, after seeing Roxy in the bottom so many times and saved so unfairly, I would rather see Coco be there.
I was excited for Coco this season, and she got sent home unfairly, I think.
It's too much, and I'm not having it. And
it's frustrating.
It's frustrating. It's almost as frustrating as watching Alaska throw a temper tantrum.
Which was ridiculous. And it's like, and a lot of people are being like, well, if I was in that position, I would have done the same thing. No! You would not have done that on national television, no matter how stressed you were. And follow RuPaul's golden rule. I don't care if you're in the back of a taxi or if you're on stage, you don't take off your wig and you don't take off your shoes. I don't. And she took off both.
And I like unzipped her course. I don't know. I just don't think there's any way to really justify her attitude. Like, yeah, you can be disappointed. Be disappointed. You know, really sit in that disappointment. Let it wash over you. Fall to the depths of despair. Just don't throw a goddamn temper tantrum. Like a little petulant child.
Bribing the other girls.
Bribing?
$10,000 to keep her in the competition. And it's like, that should be an automatic DQ.
I hope she gets
let's freaking bring in Willem back at this point. And be like, we're gonna exchange DQs. We're gonna trade Willem for Alaska.
Could you imagine, like, the end of the next episode, right before they crown, RuPaul just presses a button and Willem, like, floats in. And it's like, you're disqualified, bitch. Bye.
Like in Rabble Dark Rose, when Stacey Lane Matthews was the only queen left, and so they had to crown her for season 7.
I hate
it.
it.
So she was like Stinky Lane something.
Anyways, I hate it. I just love that lovely foreshadowing we got in the makeup room where the mom was like, he cries when he doesn't get his way. I still do that. Cut to the end of the episode. I'm sorry I won so many times.
Oh my gosh.
This really sucks. I'm just uncomfortable.
If I were in that workroom, I probably would have gone off on Alaska.
My favorite was just Katya giving no fucks and just staring her down and going, party. Because Alaska called her.
Adore the beginning! That is some deep, deep ocean-like shade right there.
It was so good just to see, after Alaska being such a twat to Katya.
Being such a cunt.
You can say it. She's a woman. Being such a twat to her at the beginning, and then just the complete reversal, where Katya's sitting there in her mushroom wig, staring at a de-wigged, droopy Alaska, and Alaska's flouncing and throwing a tantrum, and so all Katya says to her is, party.
I honestly think, just from the way that they've been building up this whole season, and like the Alaska Talks thing, and like all this, I feel like they're setting it up to be another Jinx situation, because I've read numerous times that Ru wanted to crown Katya. And I know that Ru really wants Katya to be, like, crowned. And I wouldn't be surprised if Ru crowned her at the end. On top of everything, like, Roxy has been at the bottom too many times to be an all-star. Like, you would have never, ever picked Jujubee in season 2 to be the winner over Tyra and Raven, because Jujubee had never won a challenge and she was in the bottom a ton of times. And it's like, yes, Roxy won a challenge at the very beginning of the whole thing, but she hasn't won anything since then, and she's in the bottom. Why would you crown her? Detox is pretty close, but Detox has also been in the bottom a few times, just as much as Katya, and I feel like Katya is kind of doing, like, she's been progressively getting better, you know? And she's been really turning it out every single challenge, and I just feel like, with Alaska, like, bribing, and then everything that happened with her telling her ex-boyfriend about what happened in the show and who got eliminated in that exact order, I feel like that should be a DQ. That's just me, not a Dairy Queen, a disqualification. If you go on RuPaul's Drag Race, it says in the fine print in the contract that you will not talk about it, that you will not discuss anything that happens on the show or involved with the show until the show has aired. It's specifically in the contract.
Let me look over this contract.
If you're gonna sign that, you can't go and tell somebody what happened. Am I wrong?
No, I don't disagree with you.
It's a legal thing. Like, they could sue Alaska for a lot of money if they found out that she did. Like, if the boyfriend came out and, like, told the WoW producers, she told me everything from start to finish, they could sue her for a lot of money. And so I'd be like, the nicest thing they can do is just be like, you're disqualified from getting the crown.
If you look at the fan response, it better be Katya.
Mm-hmm. She's it.
She's it.
She's it.
But so is Alaska. She's hashtag that girl.
So is Alaska up until the last couple of episodes.
Not the fan favorite. When Ru
no. I mean, like she's like a TP, but I don't know if she's the fan favorite, and that's what you have to be.
Well, and here's the thing. All I'm gonna go by is when Ru was like, and I want to know from you, the fans at home, who do you think should be the winner? Are you Team Alaska, Team Detox, Team Roxy, or Team Katya?
And then Katya was the fifth. Team Katya was the fifth most hashtagged thing on Twitter
that night.
Above How to Get Away with Murder.
Alaska didn't even play.
Hashtag just saying. Alaska wasn't even on the radar.
None of the other ones were. Just Katya. Also, side note, sidebar, hashtag, semicolon. Can we talk about how we got a second disgusted Ru face at this elimination? Second time in a row, Ru was just like...
Sigh, happened again. Alyssa went home, and I'm so upset. Could not be more upset.
It was the friggin' anniversary of their mother's death.
And it's like, how are you gonna send home her when all this is happening? I get Detox's decision. Roxy's her best friend since before the competition. I understand if it were me and it was like if it was Laura. If it was me and Laura and RuPaul's Drag Race All-Stars and I had to choose between Laura and fucking that bitch over there, I would not choose Laura. Under no circumstances. I would never choose Laura.
Spastic.
If it were between Laura and Sassy Spastic, I would not send home Laura. Because she's my friend. And I wouldn't want to... Even if I knew that I was going to win, I wouldn't want to dash her chances at winning. Because it's like, my friendship with you could be over. But it's like, on some level, you have to be like, we're adults. So like, if I send you home, you have to just get over it. RuPaul would have sent you home. You know? And I think RuPaul would have sent home Roxy a long time ago. If Roxy had lip-synced every single time that she had been in the bottom, at least this fourth time, RuPaul would have had to send her home. The fifth time, RuPaul would have sent her home. Nobody's gonna out lip-sync how many times Coco's gone in. By the way, Alaska is now tied for most wins in a single competition with Miss Sharon Needles. I don't know if anybody's ever gonna beat that record. Bob thought she was getting all close to the record there, but she only won 3. I'm wondering if anybody's ever going to beat that and get to 5 challenge wins.
Never again.
That would be insane.
This is actually the last season.
I'm actually really surprised that Alaska has won so many.
I am just sort of over Alaska. I'm not even... Love Alaska. I think she's great. I'm just kind of over it.
I'm kind of over, like...
I'm not excited.
All of it. I'm kind of bored.
I'm bored by her.
So next week we have the final challenge. We don't know what exactly is going to be. The rumors were that it was a rap challenge, but that doesn't seem to be what the commercial was for it at all. So I'm very confused on what's happening.
Sort of sing and dance.
It might be a music video. I wonder if they're going to do like what they did with the first All-Stars and do a top 4 and then just like eliminate them one by one. Or if they're going to like eliminate somebody and then do the top 3 at the reunion and then show us who won then. That's what I'm curious about.
Nobody knows. Nobody knows. I'm still very proud of Roxy and her redemption.
I'm very proud of what Roxy's done this season. I'm glad that she's really turned herself around. And I feel like she's a completely different person. Like, I rewatched season 5 and I don't even recognize.
Yeah.
I don't even recognize her
anymore. She's a new person. A better person.
And I'm glad that what she's done, but
But it's time for her to be done.
It's time for her journey to be over on the show.
Done. Her time to do what she's done is over. It's done.
And it's like, Katya is turning it out. Detox is turning it out. I feel like the two of them are the only ones who I think are really worthy of the crown. And I don't think Alaska has, like, redeemed herself. In some ways, I almost feel like she's hurt her reputation more than what it was when she came on. Mm-hmm. And I'm kind of worried for her post-Drag Race because there's so many people that are already being so hateful towards her. And there's one thing to be disappointed in her, which is what I feel like both of us are. So we're disappointed and we're angry in the decisions she's made. But we don't hate her, and I feel like there are a lot of people that are outright just hating her for what she's done, and it's like, okay, but comparatively, Tatiana would not have beat Katya or Detox. Tatiana went home for several episodes. Nobody has ever been brought back and won a show.
No, it doesn't happen.
Even on other reality shows, like in Project Runway, when they brought back Kate. She made it pretty far, but she wasn't gonna win. She was brought back. Even Shangela. Shangela was brought back for season 3, and she only made it to top 6. She's like, she would have never won. I feel like that's how it is. Sorry. I feel like that's how it would have been with Tatiana. I even feel like that's how it would have been with Alyssa. It's like you're eliminated for a reason, you know?
I definitely think Alaska has to worry about her reputation now. And I definitely think, like, at this point, like, I had no problems with Alaska winning. Totally. Like, it was obvious that she was going to. But then at this point, it's like, do I really want somebody who just throws a complete temper tantrum to be the all-star?
On a whim.
On just like that, from literally to go from poised to garbage in a matter of seconds. Like, I don't think I want that to be my all-star.
And to be so haughty about it too, like, I'm sorry I've won so much.
Because it
sucks being at the bottom
with all you garbage people.
It's like, really?
It was just so dumb, and
Do you not even remember where you came from?
Look at where you are.
You were doing basically boy drag on a stage in an underground bar that nobody went to until Sharon became famous, and you're gonna like act like you're the shit because RuPaul's Drag Race made you famous. Like, remember your roots and where you came from. Nobody was booking you before.
I think her redemption arc, it peaked and then it came to a crashing halt, because she definitely came into this season with all the confidence she lacked in her original season, because she's not under Sharon's shadow. However, as the season went on, it became obvious that confidence was almost overconfidence. Yeah. And now it's just sort of circle back and bit her in the butt, where it's just like, it's just not an attractive trait. And I mean, you know, it's like Katya said on Hey Wait, since when is bitchiness a bad trait in a drag queen? Since when is confidence a bad trait in a drag queen? It's not. And I'm not saying it is. I'm not saying she doesn't have every right to be disappointed. It just literally is the way she went about it.
Totally.
And I would have liked to see a little more grace, a little more decorum.
Act like a queen.
A little more boobs. I don't know. Just
Bob's for Quens.
Bob's for Quens.
You know who I really think deserves to be up at the top with Chad Michaels? Candy Ho. Let us know who you think should win the crown of RuPaul's Drag Race All-Stars 2. Let us know in the comments below. Who do you want to go home next if they do an elimination in the next episode? Thank you all so much for watching this episode of the Victory Lap. We will see you all again for the finale, whether you want us to or not. I really look like Trixie from this angle here.
Trixie Mattel, your piss blonde hair was a piss poor decision.
Fuck all the way off, you stupid fucking cunt. Go die.